Did you make sure that this video is in focus?
Ooh, welcome back to another day here in Iceland. We are in Vik, if you know where that is. If you haven't seen the Netflix series Katla, I suggest checking that out because it's real cool. And it's based in this little town. And you might recognize the church there. And the weather is back. How windy was it when we arrived?
The weather outside has been frightful.
But the fire
is quite delightful, yeah.
I know you're singing along. All right, this video starts right now. Let's go! And we made it down to the beach here in Vik. There are two sides to the main beach where you can see the sea stacks, and we are on the town side. So if you're driving towards Reykjavik, it's on the left. If you're driving from Reykjavik, it would also be on the, no, it's on the right at this big giant piece of rock in between. So there's two sides. Both are relatively touristy, but this one is more sheltered from the wind right now. And that's why we're here, because the weather is crazy. Saw some of that B-roll. It is, turned it up to 11 once again in Iceland. So we got a reprieve for a few days. If you haven't seen those videos, go check them out. And now the weather is back in full force. So we talked to the group a little bit and giving them fair warning on what to expect here, because if you have been here before, this place can be pretty dangerous, and these waves are out of this world. So guys, be right. Beach. What's the rule?
Never turn your back to the sea, especially in a whiteout.
Back at the vans, and one of the participants in the group, Graham from the UK, just called it. He said, hey mate, listen, bad weather makes for good photos, and I 100% agree. Sometimes the worst weather can create the most drama in your scene, and you guys, most of you already know that as photographers. The trick is actually getting out in that bad weather, and this was a very good example of another test on the weather ceiling, the A7S III from Sony. I'm still trying to get used to this new camera in the field, so apologies if the footage isn't all that great, but I will get better. And I didn't get any photos, to be honest. I didn't even take out my camera. I was trying to capture the video, because as much as you can get awesome images, and a lot of the people in the group did, from a video perspective, this is really cool. Like the slow motion of the snow. These guys are throwing snowballs at me as I'm trying to vlog. The slow motion of the snow is just awesome. So I hope you've enjoyed some of that footage. I'm gonna step out to see if they can actually hit me with a snowball. Let's see. One try, come on. I think Becky will probably get it. See if you can hit me. I won't even move. Come on. Oh, I'm ready. Go. Ah! All right, I got hit once. Well done. She must be a baseball player. Good morning from the next day. We are still in Vic, down at the other side of the black sand beach, and it's far less windy today, but we are running into a snowstorm, which is kind of exciting because this video especially has really been good for videography. The photography is still pretty good, but the videography, especially when you get snow in the air and these amazing waves, for me, it's a really good opportunity to use high frame rates to get like a really beautiful slow motion effect. So even though I started this video yesterday, I think I'm gonna talk a little bit more about utilizing slow motion in video because it's something that I do all the time, and I was really inspired by a Canadian TV show back in the day called Departures. If you guys haven't heard of it, check it out. Absolutely fantastic show. I think there's 3 seasons on Netflix, but it was filmed like over 12 years ago now. I think it was 2007, 2008, 2009, and I watched those seasons back then, 2009, 2010, 2011, and really inspired me on the beginning of my travel journey. You know, when I first started as a tour leader in South America, and watching the footage from that show, it's really like slow motion, big landscapes, incredible travel experiences, and that's one of the things that I try to portray on this channel. So lots of slow motion today, and when you get waves like this, 120 frames per second is a real sweet spot with this amount of power and movement. It is chucking it down, puking buckets, as we would say in Canada. See if my gimbal wants to act up. Where are you going? Come on back. Come on back. What is happening? This is gonna be like the second video here in Iceland where I throw this Sony off a cliff. And we're back into the snow and the crazy weather. And we come to Skogafoss, which is a beautiful waterfall. And it's snowing really quite hard right now. That's why it's very wet on the lens. I'm trying to keep this camera dry and giving it another great test of the weatherproofing on the A7S III. This tour overall has been a really good test on me getting to know this camera, not on this camera, but a user trial and error. And part of that is slow motion because I used to use the variable frame rate function on the GH5 all the time. which gave you that in-camera slow motion effect with no audio and no autofocus. And on the A7S III, I can do the same thing effectively with these frame rates, but I can't access 90 FPS. I can only do 60, 120, or 240 in HD. And it also doesn't have any audio, but it does have autofocus, which is really nice. So yeah, I use that all the time. It was definitely my go-to, and one of the reasons that I love videography so much is being able to create that slow motion in-camera effect. The A7S III does do 120, 4K 120, 4K 60 with audio and autofocus, which is also really, really nice if you need those extra frames. But then you have to create the slow motion in post, which really isn't that hard. But sometimes, depending on your timeline and how you're doing it, you can get a bit of a jitter effect. So I like to just do it in camera, but that's personal preference at the end of the day. This is gonna be my last video from Iceland. We've only got a day and a half left, and it makes sense to end it here at Skogafoss. So I wanted to just shout out Brendan and the group. If you guys don't know, I'm running these trips with Brendan Van Son, who's a Canadian travel photographer, very talented guy, incredible group leader and tour leader, and he does a lot of logistics for these tours. So shout out to Brendan. It's been an awesome tour once again here in Iceland, and the group's been phenomenal too, so that's really cool. We've got great people in this group, a really good mix. They're all here behind me, waiting for me to catch up. So that's been really, really great. Another awesome experience in Iceland with some crazy weather. So if you've seen all the videos, thank you for watching. It's really cool to have you following along, even though I'm not making as many videos as I used to. It's been fun to make them here in Iceland. So I hope you've enjoyed this series, and stay tuned for the next ones. I'm going to be still making videos throughout the year on different travel adventures, and maybe some back home from Germany. But for me, it's back to family life. Gonna go hug my little baby boy for the first time and see Nelly and give her a whole lot of love. So that's exciting for me, and for you, there's a couple of photos to say goodbye, and let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video. All right, as Brendan says, peace. Peace. You wanna sign up?
Thank you so much for watching.
No, I'm done outroing.
Thank you so much.
I'm done with like the same outro over and over again. I'm gonna start swearing in my vlogs now.
Yeah, I think you should.
I don't think the algorithm
I want to
cares
really
anymore.
swear right now, but it's hard. Like I can't physically do it.
What about one of these? Like, fuck.
It doesn't come out of my mouth right.
Which one are you trying to say?